10 things your cat will never forgive. Complete script. Right at this very moment, your beloved cat might be holding on to a memory that will change how they see you forever. A single action you thought was harmless could be slowly destroying the trust you've spent years building. And the most terrifying part? You probably have no idea it's happening. I'm James Mitchell, Feline Relationship Coach. My goal is to help you build a deeper bond of love and trust with your cat, one secret at a time. Welcome to Cat Senses Advice, where we unlock the mysteries of the feline mind. But before we reveal these trust-breaking moments, I need you to do something crucial right now. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Why? Because understanding your cat's emotional world isn't just interesting, it's essential. Every video on this channel gives you tools to strengthen your bond with your feline friend. And if you're serious about being the best cat parent possible, subscribing is your first step toward that goal. Also, smash that like button if you want to protect your relationship with your cat. Trust me, what you're about to learn could save years of damaged trust. The Feline Memory System. Your cat possesses something truly remarkable, a memory system that works completely differently from ours. While we might forget small annoyances or convince ourselves that past hurts weren't so bad, cats operate on a much simpler but more permanent system. Scientists call it associative memory, and it's both fascinating and slightly terrifying. Your feline companion creates direct links between experiences and emotions. When something causes them stress, fear, or discomfort, they don't rationalize it away. They don't think, maybe my human didn't mean it that way. Instead, they file it under a mental category: dangerous, avoid. This mental filing system serves them well in the wild, but in our homes, it can create invisible walls between us and our cats. Every time we unknowingly cross one of their boundaries, we make a withdrawal from their trust bank. And unlike human relationships, where we can explain our actions and apologize, cats judge us purely on how our actions made them feel. The shocking truth about cat grudges. Here's something that might surprise you. Cats don't hold grudges the way humans do. They're not sitting in the corner plotting revenge or feeling bitter about past experiences. Instead, they're building what I call a safety map in their minds. This map has two territories, safe and unsafe. Every interaction with you either reinforces their belief that you belong in the safe zone or pushes you toward the danger area. Once you've been marked as potentially unsafe in certain situations, your cat will adjust their behavior accordingly. The really unsettling part? This process happens silently. You might not notice anything different until one day your cat simply stops coming when you call, or they start hiding when you enter certain rooms. Before we dive into these unforgivable acts, drop a comment below and tell me, has your cat ever suddenly changed their behavior toward you and you couldn't figure out why? I read every single comment, and your experiences help other cat parents learn too. 1. Using loud, harsh voices. Let's start with something almost every cat owner has done: raising our voice around our cats. You might think your cat doesn't care about your tone. After all, they often just stare at you with that unbothered expression when you're upset. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Cats have incredibly sensitive hearing, and they're masters at reading vocal tones. When you yell, even if it's not directed at them, they perceive it as a threat signal. Their nervous system goes into alert mode, and they start assessing whether you're a source of danger. The real damage happens over time. Each instance of raised voices gets stored in their memory, building a pattern. Eventually, they may start avoiding you when your voice carries any intensity at all, even during normal conversations. I once worked with a family whose cat, Whiskers, would disappear every evening around dinner time. It took weeks to realize that this was when family discussions got heated about daily events. Whiskers wasn't avoiding dinner, he was avoiding the emotional energy in the room. 2. Disrupting their sacred routines. Cats are creatures of habit in ways that go far deeper than you might imagine. They don't just prefer routine, they depend on it for their emotional stability. When you consistently disrupt their schedule, you're essentially telling them that their world is unpredictable and potentially dangerous. Think about your cat's daily rhythm. They know when you typically wake up, when meals happen, when you leave for work, and when you return. This predictability gives them a sense of control in a world where they depend on you for everything. When you start skipping meals, changing feeding times randomly, or disappearing for unexpected long periods, your cat experiences genuine anxiety. They can't call you to ask when dinner will be ready or whether you're coming home tonight. All they can do is wait and worry. The long-term effect is a constant state of low-level stress that can manifest as behavioral changes. Your cat might become clingy and anxious, or they might go the opposite direction and become more independent and distant. 3. Overwhelming them with terrible scents. Your cat's sense of smell is roughly 14 times stronger than yours. Imagine if every scent you encountered was magnified to that degree. Suddenly, understanding why certain smells bother your cat becomes much clearer. Strong artificial scents from cleaning products, air fresheners, perfumes, and scented candles can be genuinely painful for cats. But here's where it gets worse. If you consistently smell like something they find overwhelming, they start associating you with that unpleasant sensation. This creates a heartbreaking situation where your cat wants to be close to you but finds your presence uncomfortable. Over time, they may start keeping more distance, not because they love you less, but because being near you has become unpleasant. I remember working with a client whose cat, Luna, suddenly stopped sleeping on the bed. It took some detective work to discover that the owner had started using a new fabric softener with a strong floral scent. To us, it smelled pleasant. To Luna, it was overwhelming every time she tried to cuddle. Share this knowledge. If you're finding this information helpful, please share this video with other cat lovers. Most of us make these mistakes without realizing it, and sharing this knowledge could prevent countless cats from experiencing unnecessary stress. 4. Forcing physical affection. This might be the most common mistake cat owners make, and it's often done with the best intentions. You love your cat, so you want to show affection through hugs, kisses, and cuddles. But forcing physical contact when your cat isn't in the mood is one of the fastest ways could damage their trust. Cats are creatures of choice and consent. They need to feel like they have control over when and how physical interaction happens. The moment you remove that choice, even for what seems like a harmless hug, you've violated a fundamental rule in their world. Here's what makes this particularly damaging. Cats don't understand human intentions. They don't think, my human loves me so much they can't help but squeeze me. Instead, they think, I wanted to leave, but I couldn't. This person made me feel trapped. Every time you hold your cat against their will, you make a significant withdrawal from their trust account. And the scary part is that you might not see the effects immediately. Cats are often too polite to struggle dramatically, so you might think they don't mind. But they're filing the experience away for future reference. 5. Ignoring their no signals. Closely related to forced affection is the tendency to push for interaction when your cat is clearly not interested. Cats communicate their boundaries constantly, but their signals are subtle compared to dogs. When your cat is grooming, sleeping, watching birds outside, or simply sitting in a way that suggests they want space, interrupting them for your need for affection teaches them that their communication doesn't matter to you. Think about it from their perspective. They've politely indicated they're busy or not in the mood, but you ignore their signal and impose your will anyway. This doesn't just frustrate them in the moment, it teaches them that you can't be trusted to respect their boundaries. The strongest bonds with cats develop when you let them initiate contact. When they come to you willingly, they associate you with comfort and security. When you consistently override their preferences, they start seeing you as unpredictable and potentially pushy. 6. Violating their sensitive areas. Every cat has zones they consider off-limits unless they specifically invite touch. The belly, paws, base of the tail, and sometimes even their back can be sensitive areas that they only allow special people to touch under specific circumstances. The belly is particularly significant because it protects their vital organs. When a cat exposes their belly to you, it's one of the highest signs of trust they can offer. If you take advantage of this vulnerability by reaching for their belly without permission, you're essentially saying, "I see your trust, but I'm going to disregard it." This doesn't mean you can never touch these areas. It means the invitation must come from your cat. They might roll over and actually want belly rubs, or they might stretch out their paws for you to gently massage. The key is reading their body language and waiting for their consent. When you respect these boundaries consistently, something beautiful happens. Your cat starts trusting you more and may actually invite touch in areas they previously kept off limits. Like and subscribe reminder. Take a moment to hit that like button if you're learning something new about your cat's perspective. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you're missing out on weekly insights that could transform your relationship with your feline friend. 7. Making vet visits traumatic experiences. Veterinary visits are necessary, but how you handle them can either strengthen or damage your cat's trust in you. From your cat's perspective, a sudden vet trip involves being grabbed, stuffed into a carrier, subjected to a noisy car ride, and then handled by strangers in a place that smells like fear and disinfectant. If every vet visit follows this pattern, grab and go, your cat learns to associate you with sudden, stressful experiences. They don't understand that you're trying to help them. They only know that sometimes, without warning, you take them somewhere terrifying. The solution involves preparation and patience. Leave the carrier out for days before the appointment, making it a comfortable space with treats and familiar scents. Take short practice car rides. Reward calm behavior before and after the visit. I worked with a cat owner whose Persian, Oliver, would hide under the bed for days before each annual checkup. Somehow, Oliver had learned to recognize the signs that a vet visit was coming. By changing the approach and making the carrier a positive space year-round, we transformed Oliver's vet experience completely. 8. Moving without proper preparation. From our human perspective, moving to a new home is a logistical challenge involving boxes, paperwork, and new keys. For your cat, it represents the complete destruction of their known world. Every corner, scent, sound, and hiding spot in your current home is part of your cat's mental security map. When you suddenly transport them to an unfamiliar environment without preparation, they experience something close to exile. Cats who are moved without gradual introduction to their new environment often hide for days or weeks, refuse to eat, and may never fully trust that their new environment is permanent. They're constantly waiting for the next upheaval. The key to successful moving lies in gradual transition. If possible, let your cat explore the new space while it's empty. Bring familiar items that smell like home. Maintain their routine as much as possible during the transition. 9. Ignoring signs of illness or discomfort. Cats are masters at hiding pain and illness, a survival instinct that served them well in the wild but can be dangerous in domestic life. By the time you notice obvious signs of illness, your cat may have been suffering for weeks. When you dismiss early warning signs, changes in eating habits, litter box usage, hiding behavior, or general energy levels, you're sending a message that their well-being isn't your priority. This is particularly devastating from your cat's perspective because illness is when they most need your protection and care. If they associate you with neglect during their most vulnerable moments, it creates a deep wound in their trust. The solution is becoming an expert observer of your cat's normal behavior patterns. Any deviation that lasts more than a day or two deserves attention, even if it seems minor. 10. Replacing real interaction with toys alone. Modern life is busy, and it's tempting to assume that providing plenty of toys is equivalent to providing companionship. While toys are important for mental stimulation, they cannot replace genuine interaction with you. Cats are more social than many people realize, but their social needs are subtle. They don't need constant attention, but they do need quality engagement. When you consistently choose to give them a toy instead of spending a few minutes actively playing with them, you teach them that they're not worth your direct attention. Over time, cats who feel consistently ignored may stop seeking interaction altogether. They lower their expectations of the relationship and become more independent, not because they prefer it, but because they've learned not to expect more from you. The ultimate betrayal, abandonment. The most devastating thing you can do to your cat isn't yelling or disrupting routines, it's abandonment in any form. And abandonment doesn't always look like what you might imagine. To a cat, abandonment can mean being suddenly taken to an unfamiliar boarding facility, left with strangers they've never met, or even being confined to a separate part of your home for extended periods without explanation. Your presence is your cat's anchor in the world. While they may seem independent, you represent security and consistency in a world they can't fully control. When that anchor disappears without warning, it shakes their entire sense of safety. Here's the heartbreaking truth. Cats don't understand "I'll be back next week" or "this is temporary." They only know that their most important constant has vanished and their survival instincts kick in. I once consulted with a family whose cat, Mittens, never recovered from a 2-week boarding experience. The boarding facility was excellent, Mittens was well cared for, but he had never met his caregivers before his owners left. When they returned, Mittens had changed. He was more distant, less trusting, and it took nearly a year of patient rebuilding to restore their bond. Rebuilding broken trust. If you recognize yourself in any of these scenarios, don't despair. Cat trust can be rebuilt, but it requires patience, consistency, and a genuine commitment to change. Start by identifying which mistakes you've been making and commit to stopping them immediately. Then begin the slow process of rebuilding trust through small, consistent actions. Speak softly around your cat, even when you're stressed. Maintain routines as much as possible. Respect their boundaries religiously. Prepare them gradually for any necessary changes. Respond quickly to signs of illness or distress. Most importantly, become the constant, reliable presence in their life that they can always count on. The relationship between you and your cat is precious and fragile. It's built on trust, respect, and understanding, and it deserves to be protected. Remember, in your cat's world, you are everything. You're their provider, protector, and companion. With that responsibility comes the need to see the world through their eyes and respect their unique needs and boundaries. If this video has opened your eyes to the hidden ways cats experience trust and betrayal, I need you to take action. Hit that like button to help other cat parents discover this crucial information. Subscribe to Cat Senses Advice for more insights into the feline mind. And most importantly, share this video with every cat lover you know. Your cat can't advocate for themselves, but you can. Let's make sure no cat has to experience these unforgivable moments ever again. Drop a comment below sharing your biggest takeaway from this video, or tell me about a time when you realized you had accidentally damaged your cat's trust. Your story might help another cat parent avoid the same mistake. Until next time, this is James Mitchell reminding you that every interaction with your cat is an opportunity to strengthen or weaken your bond. Choose wisely, and your cat will reward you with a lifetime of love and trust. Thank you for watching Cat Senses Advice, where we unlock the secrets of feline behavior, one video at a time. I'll see you in the next one.